Darling, are you feeling mad? Are you feeling kind of sad too? You're.
When women buy a house,
So I'm officially a homeowner today, y'all. And I'm trying not to cry. I'm so.
Do you know that single women own 2.71 million more homes in America than single men? That's crazy. Especially considering that women couldn't even get a mortgage by themselves until 1974. This has been a busy 50 years, I guess. Period.
More women are homeowners than men. That's right. Single women own roughly 10.7 million homes compared to men at 8.1 million. And I've heard people talk about this time and time again, but I would love your opinion. Why do you think that is? Do you think that the statistics surrounding college degrees and whether more men or women have those degrees has anything to do with it? Do you think it's a difference in salary? Even though we all know that. So why do you think that is? I want to hear your feedback. I'm not mad about it though.
You guys want to know what's really cute? Women in the U.S. own 2.71 million more homes than single men. And that's single women. What's even crazier is the state that has the largest share of single women who own a house. And it just so happens to be the state that I live in too, which is Delaware. And even crazier is that it wasn't until 1974 when the Equal Credit Opportunities Act passed that women could even open up a bank account. And now here we are in 2024 and there are more single women than there are single men buying houses. And I just think that's really cool. And I just feel like women understand that so much more, and they would make more sacrifices to then just get into their first house to start gaining equity, even though it's maybe not the best location or the best house, but they understand the value of an appreciating asset like real estate, clearly much more than single young men do.
And I think all of those women there are realtors who are just looking to bring in more female buyers. And I can't knock their sale hustle for that because they have been working. Feminism has convinced women that they got to keep the points on the board up against men when it comes to any type of data stats, just to convince themselves and the world that they really don't need men. But let's see how these women feel now after accomplishing their life goal of owning a home.
Transparency post. I regret buying a house. I regret it a lot. If I could go back to January 2022, I would tell that girl, do not. Just find another apartment to move into, because doing all this shit that I have to do for this house and all the unexpected costs, high dollar unexpected costs that I keep running into, to be handling it by myself, is ass. So to all you young women who want to go out and buy a home, I encourage you to really, really think about it. Talk to some people and really see the ins and outs. I mean, it always sounds good. Oh yeah, your mortgage is only going to be $1,000 until they reevaluate your property taxes. And that bitch goes up $200, It's trash. 85 degrees, your AC is going to go out. You don't want to know how much that costs.
Buying a house is not just a pragmatic decision. It's romantic. It's a heart and mind kind of thing. Don't tell the other accountants I'm saying this, but don't berate yourself. You fell in love with a lemon. At least you'll develop some plumbing and electrical skills, and that'll be handy.
I bought a house when I was 26 and fell immediately into poverty. Okay, when I lived with my parents, I was living my best luxury lifestyle. I went to South Korea, bought a 2,000 plane ticket, didn't even blink twice. I went shopping, luxury goods, all that. Was traveling, was just, I was living it up. I felt rich. I had no bills. And I had a full-time 9-to-5 job. I was working as a nurse, okay? I was killing it. I bought my own house. That first mortgage payment came in and I was like, oh, this is a situation. But at first you think you can handle it, right? What's a couple thou? was a couple thou. I got it. But then the pipes in my 80-year-old home broke immediately as soon as I bought the house. Wiped out my savings. Then another pipe in a different area of the house broke. Okay, I'm struggling. Okay, I need help. Then my neighbor's pipe, it was a twin house, her pipe broke. And she didn't believe that her pipe broke, but her pipe broke on my side of the house. So all of that water that was coming down was spraying into my home. And then my water heater broke. When I tell y'all, I went from living in the lap of luxury to destitute immediately.
It sounds like this lady here just maxed out all of her savings to get this house and had no emergency funds for when things went wrong. But I'm sure she got it together and she's back on her feet now because she's a strong, independent woman.
We actually have a couple friends that bought houses this year, and I think they have a lot of regret. Like, I think they felt like that was like the next step they needed to do. Both sets of friends were getting married. It just kind of seemed like the natural groove of thing. I don't think it was a horrible decision by any means, but I do wonder like how much of it was pressure to like just the need to have to buy a home, because then it's like, oh, can you really afford to fix it up? So like, are you going to be house poor? Can you afford furniture?
Buying a house was a bad investment. My partner and I couldn't afford a house close to the city, so we bought way out in the suburb, and getting into the city is expensive. I have just had to start working a second job due to rising interest rates and needing to afford mortgage payments. House maintenance is expensive. No more calling up your landlord. That's your problem now. The commute takes about 2 to 3 hours a day. Travel is not looking like a viable option. Uber Eats options are terrible. I know renting isn't all sunshine and daisies either, but just wanted to be real.
Okay, so I feel like nobody talks about the realities of home ownership because I feel like the people who promote it are all real estate agents. And I feel like the real estate economy has really glamorized home ownership without talking about the negatives. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't own a home. I'm not saying that in the long run, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, yes, it will be a good investment. But I'm saying nobody talks about the expenses, the stress, the effects on your mental health from owning a home. When your home, the place you live in, the place you seek comfort and shelter is broken and doesn't work, it's truly damaging on your mental health. And insurance companies, they will not do shit. I'm going to do a whole nother TikTok series about insurance companies and how it was just a living nightmare in which I actually didn't even take the accommodations they offered me because they were just so flaky and shady that I was like, I'd rather live in a broken home than not know where I'm going to live. And even nice homes that are expensive, like in this user's comment, 1.7 million, homes in areas like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Southern California, like expensive areas, you get a $2 million home and you still need to fix it up significantly because in those areas, that's what it's going for. And then also just this logistical nightmare of scheduling. This kind of work is insane because nobody ever shows up on time or when they're going to. And it's like, God forbid you work during the day, during the week, because they don't come in on weekends. So that's the hard part. And then they're always 2 hours late. So it's like you tell them to come in at 10 o'clock, you have a meeting at noon. So you're like, okay, there's 2 hours of buffer time. But guess what? You have a meeting at noon. And thank God I work for myself.
I bought a house. Here are 3 things that I don't like about owning my home. Number 1 is maintenance on stupid stuff. One of those is cleaning out my garage. Today I spent my entire Sunday vacuuming up the garage, taking everything out, dusting off the cobwebs. Mice and insects are another thing that I don't like about owning a home. A couple months ago, we were cleaning up the house and I remember seeing these like little grains that I thought were little grains of rice, and I asked my fiance, what is this? Like, what do you think this is from? And he's like, oh my God, that's mouse poop. Every drawer, even where our clothes were, like in the kitchen, everywhere we found mouse poop. I hate mice. I literally hate mice. And I had to disinfect everything, that had been touched by poop. Finally, if something breaks, it's my fault. In April of this year, our dishwasher broke. Turns out the motor on the dishwasher went bad, even though we had only bought the house 2 years ago. So then we just ended up calling Samsung. They had to send somebody out here. It really disrupted my work schedule. I had to be home for a couple days while this guy came. He had to come out and inspect it, then he had to buy the part. It ended up costing us like $350. $350 is a lot of money that it could have set us back if we weren't prepared.
And she also said in there that she had a fiance, and she's the one out there cleaning the garage up. Her fiance must be over there living that drizzle life. But anyways, oh yes ma'am, that's how that works. When the bank owns, when you own your own house, I guess. Anything breaks in it, you're responsible for it. So you have to replace those things out of your own pocket.
I'm going to be really controversial when I say this, and I'm talking to all of our parents out there. Buying a house does not make you successful. Don't worry, I did it by myself at 30, and so I'm going to walk you through why I would never fucking do it again. Specifically in California or LA, and I mean by myself. I signed those documents as a single woman, first and last name, because that's how they do it. If you have a partner that would split that with you, I think that's a completely different story. Again, bought my house by myself in LA. Let's go over the pricing. I bought a townhouse in LA, a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. It was $465,000. I bought it in 2021 because I thought that was going to be the cheapest thing possible. I had an interest rate of less than 3%. It was 2.99%. Things that I could not have factored in. HOA increasing. My HOA from month 1 went to $299, and then year 3 went to $486. The reason I'm talking about this is because my house was on the market. I am selling it for $535, okay? So I'm going to minus broker's fees, improvements, escrow fees, title insurance, and corrective worker repairs. With that being all added up, my profit at the end of the day for 4 years is $15,206. I put 10% down. That's $46,000.
You said a home is a terrible investment. Isn't that kind of ironic?
It is a terrible investment. There's nothing good about it. Doesn't cash flow. You don't get big tax write-offs because of it. You have no leverage. You're living in it. You're paying for it. Even when the loan's paid, you still got to pay property taxes. Still got to insure it. Still got to maintain it. People get emotional about their house. This is my house. It ain't your house. You're a partner in this house with the state.
So your recommendation to a normal family would be to rent?
Never buy a house, man. Rent. I'm not saying don't own real estate. I'm saying take all the money that you would have spent on that house and invest in real estate that cash flows, that pays you every month. Could be retail, storage, could be land. If you're a farmer or a rancher and you know how to get cows to a cash flow, then do that.
Spending on rent. I'm not seeing none of that back. The only thing I'll see back is a security deposit, and we already know how that goes. We rarely ever get that back. But if I've been paying mortgage on a house for 10 years, how much of that money am I going to see back? Worst case scenario, I see 20%. Worst case scenario. Shit, 20% way better than not seeing anything. And this is it. Some of you want these $1 million homes, $750,000 homes. How do you think these people going to get these houses? You think they just end up getting a job, the starting pay, and or they've been with this company for 10 years, and now they can sit up here and afford a mortgage payment that's $5,000, $6,000? No. No. They had equity from a house they bought. They probably got some raises. They sold the house, used the equity from that house to put a down payment on that really expensive house.
I think it's a variety of different factors that go into why women might be higher home ownership. It's interesting. A lot of times men may have more financial obligation.
Absolutely.
When you look at the child support system, when you look at potentially having to provide for other people, women, provide for other people as well, but the man might have other financial obligations.
It's like the whiteout answer, though.
And in the back of men's minds, we know what's really going on here. A lot of these women got these homes from their ex-husband. When they ran to the courthouse and got a divorce, they got awarded and left with that man's home. I don't know why these women are trying to give themselves this big parade over something that men don't care nothing about. Men are trying to live our best life because a lot of men are not looking to own a home unless we have a family to put in it, or unless that man want to leave a house behind for his children one day. That's different. But other than that, these ladies can win with these stats right here because, like I said, I don't think men particularly care anymore. But anyways, that's all I got in this video. You guys drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about the housing market and what these women are dealing with right now. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.